In August 2025, Nevada's desert became the scene of one of the strangest discoveries of the year. Federal agents were called after hikers reported strange fragments scattered in Nye County sands. At first glance, investigators thought the pieces were stone, but closer inspection told a horror. The fragments were bone-burned, brittle, and spread across a dry canyon floor in the desert. Dozens of urns and ashes lay scattered, evidence of human cremation abandoned in wilderness. The FBI quickly joined, sealing the site, collecting fragments under the blazing desert sun. Families across Nevada panicked where their loved ones' remains discarded in lonely sands. Detectives suspected illegal disposal tied to funeral home fraud, a betrayal of grieving trust. Agents bagged fragments, urns, and evidence markers lined the desert like grim signposts. Each piece was catalogued, stored, and sent to forensic labs to confirm their human origin. Residents called it chilling, the idea of families thinking, ashes buried when left in desert. Funeral records were cross-checked, officials searching for patterns of missing cremations. Local families demanded answers, fearing their relatives' remains might lie under desert sky. Authorities described the scene as disturbing, disrespectful, and deeply criminal in nature. Media headlines spread, dozens of human remains found. In Nevada desert, outrage grew. Social media echoed anger, hashtags trended, hashtag desert remains and hashtag justice for families. FBI press conference confirmed remains were human, multiple sets burned and abandoned. Rumors grew of funeral homes cutting costs, dumping ashes instead of performing services. Officials refused to name suspects but confirmed investigation into local funeral companies. The case became a mix of crime, horror, and fraud, a betrayal of families' final wishes. Nye County Sheriff called it one of the darkest cases in Nevada's history of crime. Heat shimmered as agents searched the canyon, each shovel uncovering fragments of lives. Residents gathered at vigils, lighting candles, praying for dignity for the abandoned dead. Some families cried openly, fearing the ashes they kept at home were not truly their own. Investigators said evidence suggested deliberate scattering, not accident or natural erosion. Environmental experts confirmed the fragments could not have washed here by desert winds. Families who recently buried loved ones demanded exhumations. To confirm authenticity, forensic teams prepared DNA tests, though burned bone yields limited but vital results. Officials stated, "We are committed to justice. These souls deserve dignity and truth." Each recovered urn was photographed, its inscriptions haunting reminders of stolen faith. Local media interviewed grieving families, tears mixing with fury at betrayal of funeral trust. Religious leaders condemned the act, calling it desecration, urging accountability now. Rumors linked a Las Vegas funeral home with financial struggles to possible dumping. Agents refused to confirm, saying only, "We follow evidence, not speculation or rumor." Still, whispers grew how many ashes across Nevada deserts were never properly handled. Candlelight vigils lined Nye County Courthouse. Banners read, "Respect the dead." Tourists driving past desert canyons whispered of ghosts left restless by betrayal. Paranormal groups claimed sightings of strange lights where remains were discovered. The desert became a crime scene, but also a stage for folklore and chilling rumors. Each day, new families came forward, asking if their loved ones' names were on the list. FBI confirmed remains of at least 20 individuals scattered across canyon floor. Experts said total number may be higher as search expanded into nearby dry washes. Families who cremated relatives demanded refunds. Lawsuits loomed against funeral firms. Nevada officials admitted oversight failures, promising reforms and stricter monitoring. The discovery sparked national debate on funeral industry regulation and corruption. Investigators faced a mountain of grief, anger, and unanswered questions about respect. Each urn fragment became evidence, a silent voice testifying to betrayal and neglect. Journalists dubbed it the Desert Remains case, a crime shocking in both scale and cruelty. FBI cautioned patience, saying forensic results take months but progress is being made. Local sheriffs admitted even hardened deputies struggled emotionally at the crime scene. Nevada's history of desert secrets gained a new chapter, darker than many before it. The arid landscape seemed to swallow stories, now coughing them up in fragments. Families held vigils, leaving flowers at canyon entrance where evidence tape fluttered. Each candle symbolized a life wronged twice, once in death and once in betrayal. Rumors spread of mass cremation fraud rings profiting by discarding remains illegally. Detectives said evidence showed systematic disposal, not isolated accident or error. Media called it a funeral horror, blending true crime with elements of Gothic dread. Public trust eroded. Funeral homes faced intense scrutiny across Nevada communities. Some families exhumed loved ones' graves, desperate for certainty they buried truth. Paranormal tales spread further. Ghost hunters flocked to Nye County seeking spirits. FBI extended search zone, combing miles of canyon for additional hidden fragments. Investigators wore hazmat suits under desert heat, determined to respect the remains. Social workers supported grieving families, many collapsing in sorrow during vigils. Nevada lawmakers promised reforms, drafting new bills for tighter funeral oversight. The canyon became both evidence locker and memorial, a place of anger and mourning. Each day more urn fragments surfaced, inscriptions still faintly visible in desert dust. Families demanded arrests, chanting, "Justice for the dead, truth for the living." Reporters asked daily, who dumped the ashes and why abandon so many lives here? Officials insisted, "We will uncover the truth, no matter how long it takes us." The FBI urged families not to lose faith, promising accountability for those betrayed. Across America, the story spread, shocking communities about funeral industry trust. National outlets called it the Nevada Desert Horror, capturing global attention. Tourists detoured to glimpse the canyon, standing in silence at the taped perimeter. Activists demanded a national registry of cremations to prevent such abuses again. Families cried before cameras, saying, "We trusted them and they left our loved ones." Here, lawsuits mounted, attorneys promising to sue for damages, fraud, and emotional trauma. Federal prosecutors confirmed criminal charges were possible, including fraud and abuse. Investigators worked through funeral contracts, searching for fraudulent financial records. Families organized groups, supporting each other while awaiting forensic confirmations. Nevada became a symbol of broken promises, abandoned dignity, and uncovered betrayal. Desert winds whistled through taped-off grids, carrying whispers of violated trust. Candle flames flickered in desert night, glowing against evidence markers and tape. Each urn shard reflected moonlight, as if the dead themselves demanded recognition. Paranormal enthusiasts swore shadows gathered, restless spirits haunting the sands. Community leaders vowed, "We will not rest until every family receives closure." Officials promised forensic results would bring answers, dignity restored, and justice. FBI continued combing canyon floor, digging deep for the last scattered fragments. The public's outrage grew louder, echoing across news cycles and online forums. The case symbolized betrayal, families robbed of trust, dignity stolen in final moments. Authorities faced national pressure to identify and punish the guilty without delay. By September, forensic labs confirmed human bone fragments from multiple individuals. FBI revealed investigation now focused on fraudulent disposal networks statewide. Families prayed nightly, candles glowing as desert winds carried smoke into the dark. Nevada's desert held the horror of dozens, but also the hope of truth at last revealed. The question still echoes, who scattered the ashes in Nye County and why betray the dead?